Welcome back for the Raw Vegan Common Struggles video number 5 in this playlist series, which I will link down in the description box below, as well as I will link the Raw Vegan Bundle. Raw Vegan Bundle is back. It's only here once a year, so be sure to check that out. We've got over 35 different contributors, over $1,700 worth of products. So if you have purchased bundles in the past, this bundle is completely different, all new stuff. I've got my brand new course in there, the Raw Vegan Kitchen Essentials course, as well as Liz has got her brand new hand salads book in there. We've got books from Chris Kendall. We've got books from Ra Chef Yin. Oh my gosh, her Asian sweet treats. I cannot wait to get into that book. She has some delicious recipes. Her recipes are so much fun to make, so be sure to check that out. That'll be linked below. All right, so let's get into this video. Welcome back to Recalibrate with Nate. And in this video, I wanted to talk about overeating fats. This definitely can be a raw vegan common struggle. In a lot of ways, it can be really, really easy to overeat your fats. Now, the reason it's easy to overeat fat is the fats, like avocado, nuts and seeds, these sorts of things are very calorically dense, right? So now other raw foods, leafy greens, fresh fruits and vegetables, these sorts of things aren't very calorically dense. So adding in little bits of fat to your meals, sometimes it can be easy to overeat the fats. So let's say you're eating 1,200 calories, right? And you're trying to remain around 10% fat. That's like a good amount of fat to be bringing in, anywhere from 10 to maybe 15% of your calories from fat. So if you're trying to keep it around 10%, and you're only eating 1,200 calories, that's essentially only, it's 120 calories from fat, which that equates out to be like 13 grams of fat for that particular day. But you only ate 1,200 calories, so maybe you're still hungry. So you decide to snack on some nuts, right? Or maybe you have some guacamole with some cucumber chips or something. So therefore, it can be a lot easier to overeat your fats when you're under eating because you're hungry, and naturally, a lot of times we gravitate towards more fatty foods. So if we were to double that, say instead of eating 1,200 calories for the day, which that, of course, in my opinion, is just not appropriate for an average size individual with an average activity level, say you double that and you go to 2,400 calories that you've eaten for the day, right? So that would be 240 calories from fat if you're trying to keep it around 10%. That'd be 26 grams for the day. So that's a really nice day. That's an appropriate amount of fat for the day. But it can be easy to overeat the fats because fat is already in the food. There's already, there's little bits of fat in bananas and in romaine lettuce and iceberg lettuce and tomatoes. These sorts of things actually hold little bits of fat, and we actually need fat. We need fat for our brain health, for our heart health, to replenish skin cells, and good elasticity on our skin. These sorts of things, it's important to have fat into our diet. So, but it's really easy to overeat, right? So depending on how much you're actually eating, you just got to be mindful with how much fat you're actually bringing in through your nuts and seeds and avocado. So say if you are practicing a raw vegan diet or following a raw vegan diet, and you just snack on almonds. I know several people who have been snacking on almonds or cashews, but they're raw, right? This would be a great thing to replace with fruit. Take the nuts out, maybe for your morning snack or midday snack, take the nuts out, especially if they're roasted and salted. Ooh, no good, because that's going to make you more thirsty. And it's not as beneficial as having, say, a raw nut because it's been roasted, right? These sorts of things. But of course, if you're following a raw diet, you're not eating a salted roasted nut. But I know some people who follow a raw diet who do incorporate some salted roasted nuts into their day-to-day, and that can really be not the best for you over time. So that's where it's best to replace it with some fruit. Have some grapes, have an orange, have some bananas, right? Whatever kind of fruit that you like, keep it around you so you have these sorts of fruits to tap into throughout the day instead of snacking on the fatty foods like the nuts and the seeds. It's interesting how there's trail mix, right? Like they sell trail mix, like trail mix is supposed to be good for us. It's a healthy snack, but there's fruit mixed with fat. And now this is kind of an interesting one, like peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jellies are like the cornerstone of just the quick, lunch for a growing kid, or maybe you're going out for whatever it is. Like peanut butter and jellies are very, very common, but it's just not the best food combining. Now, of course, listen, I really don't. We're not real strict with certain sorts of foods that we combine, except for mixing our fats with our fruits, because what's happening is the sugar from the fruit is trying to get into the cell, right? But the more fat that we have in our bloodstream, say if we're eating a peanut butter and jelly, that fat from the peanut butter, and especially if it's store-bought peanut butter, not raw, make your own kind of making your own peanut butter would be the best. But these sorts of things have different oils in them even, and what that does is it clogs up the cell wall to where it can't be opened to get the sugar in, right? So insulin resistance, this is called. Basically, your body is it's resisting the insulin that is trying to open up the cell, because really insulin is the key. It's like a little key, right? And it's trying to open up the lock, which the lock, inside is the cell. It opens up and that sugar can get in and feed the cell. So if it can't open the lock, and it stays closed because there's too much fat in the bloodstream, then all that sugar stays in the bloodstream and your body produces more insulin, and it's just a downward spiral in so many ways. So a lot of issues in our day-to-day life, what we're seeing in the population is just overeating fats, and these fats can really, they can derail us in so many ways. So be mindful of just not, of course, it's not good to stress ourselves out and to be, freaking out about these sorts of things, like adding fat into our diet. We just want to eat appropriate amount of fat, and that's where it's important to eat appropriate amount of calories, right? If you're eating a 2,000 or 2,400 days worth of calories, you actually can incorporate a couple tablespoons worth of nuts or seeds into your evening dressing, or depending on the size of avocado, you could have like a half of an avocado if it's a small avocado, or if it's a big avocado, like a quarter of an avocado, because that would be basically keeping you in that level of where you're not overeating on the fats. Now, it's definitely necessary. Like I said, we need fat, and I know there's a lot of people that are really scared of fat and they don't want to eat a lot of fat, and they really strive to, be completely fat-free. And this can lead to issues as well in the long run. Like, we need fats, and the fats that are really, really important, that are essential and that we can't make ourselves, are omega-3 fats. Now, these fats can be found in chia and flax, and those are the greatest sources that, realistically, in a lot of ways, those are some of the greatest sources that we have access to be able to add to our dressings, or our, maybe we're making some wraps or a soup, or maybe just sprinkle some ground flax on your salad. These are great ways to get in your omega-3 fats, and these are healthy fats. Now, the problem is the fats that are really easy and really tasty and delicious, like avocados, peanuts, almonds, and cashews, hemp seeds even. Now, hemp seeds have a pretty good ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s, but these other fats, like cashews, avocados, peanuts, almonds, right, they have a really high amount of omega-6. See, so what's happening is our body uses enzymes to basically convert the omega-6 or omega-3, but a lot of times, what happens is, say like peanuts or almonds, they say the best ratio is for omega-6 to omega-3 is 1:1 or 4:1. What's happening though is our body uses enzymes to convert these omegas. And a lot of times what's happening is we're so high in omega-6, all of the energy is really going towards breaking down the omega-6 and converting the omega-6s, and there's not a lot of energy and enzymes left to really break down and convert those omega-3s into the EPA and DHA, the good omegas that a lot of people are eating fish and taking fish oil for, right? So we can get these certain things in our flax and our chia. This is really, really important to incorporate into our day-to-day life, but we definitely want to be mindful with how much we're actually eating. So what we try to do is we really try to strive for following like an 80-10-10 style of diet, which would be 80% from carbs, 10% from fats, 10% from protein, right? So naturally though, if we eat just a raw vegan style of diet, which we're eating lots of variety, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, we're going to be hitting those numbers. Now, the part that can be tricky, of course, that's why we're talking about this in this video, is the fats, keeping the fats somewhat low. So really, like when it comes down to it, is eating fruits and vegetables throughout the day, your salads, maybe like a fat-free being like a tablespoon of chia in your salad dressing for your lunch, and then maybe your dinner would be like 2 tablespoons of cashews, soaked cashews into that particular dressing for one person, right? So you're eating like 2 tablespoons of nuts. In a way, kind of that's kind of how I picture it. Like the best days are the days where Liz and I both are eating maybe 3 tablespoons worth of fat a day, 2 tablespoons coming from nuts and seeds, and then maybe we have like a little bit of an avocado, the quarter, we split a half of an avocado, so we have a quarter of an avocado, but that's really essentially how it could equate to. 10% fat in a way is 2 to 3 tablespoons, or like a half of a small avocado. Now, fruit and veg, like you can get 5% from your fruit and veg, right? So you're already, just eating fruits and vegetables, you're getting half of your fats that you realistically need to operate optimally from your fruits and vegetables. But adding in those extra fats, you can bring it up to the 10%. You can easily get it up to 12, 15% or even more, 20, 30%. It really depends on if you're adding nut butters into your, smoothies and these sorts of things. So that's really something to be mindful of, is just, watching how many fats you're intaking, because it's really easy to overeat fats, and that can definitely be a struggle. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully got something out of it. Be sure to hit the like button if you liked it, and subscribe if you feel so compelled, as well as check out the Raw Vegan Bundle. We've got that going on for, let's see, today's day 5. So I think we've got 6 days left, right? Only 6 days left for this bundle. So be sure to check that out before it is gone. And we will see you on the next one. Love you.